Petro's Papadakis and Darius Walker are squaring off one-on-one. You ready, guys?
Yes.
First up, number 2 Florida hosts number 7 South Carolina. Darius, tell me why the Gators deserve that number 2 ranking.
Because they keep putting Driscoll in the pistol. That's why.
This game is big for so many reasons. Higher stakes after their first matchup a month ago.
Yeah, you know, one of the common things that you know in football is it's very difficult to beat a team twice. Eastern Washington is going to have to do that against Montana. If you look at the game against Montana a month ago, they got up to a fast start, 33-10 in the first half, so they're going to need to start fast. The problem is Eastern Washington's coming off a bye week, so it's going to be interesting to see how they come out and how they perform early in this game. Coach, looking at the game last season against K-State, you led late in the third quarter before you had 3 fourth-quarter turnovers. Is that something that you revisit with your players, or do you just kind of move on and try to focus on this week?
Now, turnovers is the biggest factor in college football, pro football, high school football. It doesn't make any difference.
Excellent job here by Herb Walker. Check out Herb Walker. We talked about him running. He's number 3 in front of Johnson. He's just going to chop down the backer there. Herb having an impact on the game, running the ball and blocking. I love to see it.
Reminded me of one Darius Walker perhaps back in the day.
There you go. Listen, I didn't want to say anything. Number 3, last name Walker. Something about that just looks good to me. I don't know.
Turnovers. They drive coaches crazy.
They do.
Troy's done a nice job this year, but for the Vandals, they just can't hold on to the ball.
Yeah, well, you know, turnovers at the quarterback position will hurt you. For Troy, they only have 4 interceptions on the season, which is really good. But for Idaho, their quarterbacks have combined for over 16 interceptions this season.
Monty Ball has really come on strong. Do you think he'll be enough for that offense to win this one?
Well, you would certainly like to hope so if you're a Badger fan, because what Monty Ball has been able to do this year, no one in the country has ever done it. With that being said, though, of the 3 losses that they had out of the last 4 games, Monty Ball averaged over 120 yards through those 3 games. So he's done his job. The problem is at the quarterback position, and they need consistency from one of these 3 guys. This is all on Vernon Adams. He throws the ball late and upfield, which allows Nate Harris to come in and attack the ball and wide receiver. So that's one of those where you're going to go off on the sidelines, and Vernon Adams is going to get an earful from his wide receiver there.
Darius, Heisman finalist Tyrann Mathieu kicked off of number 3 LSU. So tell me why the Tigers won't miss the Honey Badger.
They won't miss the Honey Badger for 2 reasons. Kiki Mingo and Sam Montgomery. Those giant defensive ends that they got out there. Listen, P, you got defensive ends crushing the quarterback, putting pressure on the quarterback like that. I probably could be a cornerback out there. Taking some heat about rotating your quarterbacks. I was one of those that was curious about it as well. What do you think has changed for Everett Golson and his performance against Oklahoma?
He's just growing up.
Rashad will do the corner, the guilty party. Let's take a look at this.
Yeah, so they're going to throw this to Burke. It's behind the line of scrimmage, so it's legal for him to throw the ball. But when he launches this up, Wadu's going to come over and make contact right before the ball gets there. And my pick this week is Jonathan Franklin, UCLA running back. He had a monster game last week, but he's going up against a tough test and a Stanford Cardinal defense that shut down Kenyon Barner a week ago. Look for him to have a big game because he breaks tackles. Herb Walker once again showing why he's on that Walter Payton watch list. He's going to come right up the middle here. And the biggest thing is arm tackles. He's breaking arm tackles right there. You see 1 arm tackle, 2 arm tackles, 3 arm tackles. Finally, they get him down. You know, we're waiting on him to have that impact. Here it is. This is just Herb Walker making a play right into the middle of that defense. Breaks 1 arm tackle. Very, very nice game.
Tell me why Brian Kelly's on the hot seat.
Well, you just said it, Jill. 8-5, back-to-back 8-5 seasons. Listen, Notre Dame is a national program that 8-5, just quite frankly, isn't good enough. So Kelly's on the hot seat because he's got to win some more games. We want to see BCS bids. We want to see bowl game victories. We want to see Heisman Trophy candidates. That's what we want to see. Yeah, you know, we really like Herb Walker. I mean, mentioned his size being 5'6", 180 pounds. They have a nickname for him. They call him the Smurf. But I'd say he does not play small at all. Almost 1,300 yards rushing this season. He's been very durable, which is interesting to me because of his size.
I'm not calling him a Smurf, I can promise you that. On a 56-yard return, Darius, and Richmond in business.
You know, I mentioned Jacoby Green right at the top, him being a good running back. He's got the skills and the speed. Special teams is always key in a close game like today. Excellent return from Jacoby Green.
Darius, tell me why Huskies coach Steve Sarkisian brought a live tiger to practice this week.
Oh, man, motivation. Motivation is the reason why you bring the tiger to practice. But listen, this is a big game for these guys, and I don't think that you're going to need motivation from a tiger to be able to do it. The fact of how big this game is, if that's not enough to get you amped and ready to play, nothing will.
6'2", 230-pound tailback. When he's coming across the middle, I mean, you have no chance. He basically is so long and physical that he can just fall forward for 2 or 3 yards. It's almost impossible to stop him. Reggie Diggs here, he's on the outside. Strauss is going to look off the safety and then throw it back inside to Diggs. Perfect route, perfect execution, and even better play call by offensive coordinator Brandon Streeter.